Hi, this is an explanation for weeks 13 and 14. Yes, it is a 2-week module. Please don't wait for the second week to complete all the activities or you won't get it done, and you will need 2 weeks to finish the work this week. So this week, in a nutshell, you're going to meet with your literature group either in a wiki or via WebEx to discuss historical fiction. You're going to view 2 videos of authors discussing historical fiction, which you're going to discuss either in your literature group wiki or in a WebEx. You're going to examine some read aloud websites. You're going to read a chapter excerpt from a read aloud handbook, and then you will select some ideas from one of the last 2 chapters in the textbooks, chapters 11 and 12. So let's take a look at what that looks like this week when I click on this folder. The first activity is a part of your discussion. Now you have a choice. This is your literacy group, the group that you've been discussing the books that you've been writing about in your blog. You can either, and your group needs to decide this, so you'll have to have some communication deciding whether you would like to create a wiki page and discuss through that, or get together over the next 2 weeks and talk about activity 1 and activity 2. So that is a choice your group has to make, and it will be your literacy group. And if you check over here in your groups here, you'll find literacy group A, B, and C. You remember which group you're in, and then you'll be able to use the wiki there, or you can generate a WebEx and send that to me as you've done in the past. It's up to decide. But what you are to do in activity 1 is to read both of these articles here. And I have written here that you should discuss the role of accuracy in historical fiction for children and problems with historical revisionism. Discuss the particular cases McLeod presents. Ask students to reflect on these questions. Do you think it's okay to have modern models, particularly in women's roles in historical fiction, or not? Why or why not? And do you think historical fiction should focus more on everyday experiences and the experiences of more unusual people? Why or why not? Then I want you to read the next article, Was the Pope Old? And I want you to discuss whether you agree that the fiction can and should outweigh historical when it comes to historical fiction. Should accuracy in historical fiction be more important than storytelling? And at what point does a text become a piece of nonfiction rather than historical fiction? So again, you may discuss these articles or you may write about them depending on what the majority of your group decides. Then you are to view 2 videos here from children's authors. This one's shorter than this one. This one's a little bit longer. And then you are to either write about those in your literacy group wiki, or you can discuss them as part of the discussion up in activity number 1 here in regards with the articles. So these are the 2 links for those videos. And that's your group work for the next 2 weeks. Some independent work, we're going to be looking at read alouds. And so what I want you to do is to select one of these 3 websites. Well, in fact, you have to select 2 of them. I'm sorry, you have to select 2 of them and compare and contrast them. Which website offers the most information about read alouds? Which one would you use as a classroom teacher? Which one has the most ideas that you might use? Is there one you would refer parents needing more information about read alouds? And why did you select that website? Is there any information missing from that website? Maybe one website has some really good information and the other one does too, and you would love to have a combination of those 2. You can discuss that. Is there anything you wish had been added to the website? I want you to post these responses in your Read Aloud wiki. Then you have to comment on one of your colleagues' postings. We're going to take a look at Jim Trelease's book on Read Aloud. And it's really just some excerpts from his chapters on the book. And what I'd like you to do is to create a summary or reflection incorporating any ideas that resonate with you after reading that chapter excerpt. Post this summary or reflection in your Read Aloud Wiki. That's the same wiki that you used here, the Read Aloud, not the group Literacy Run, but the Read Aloud Wiki, and comment on 2 of your colleagues' postings different from the chapter you read. So don't read the same chapter or read the colleagues' postings from the same chapter. Read a different chapter. And last but not least, you will also now read both chapters 11 and 12. They're the last 2 chapters in our textbook. And I want you to pick one of those chapters that have the grade levels that you would most likely like to teach. One talks about primary, one talks about more intermediate, middle school. So pick the level that you think you might teach, and then I want you to write at least 10 ideas that chapter offers to infuse children's literature into your instruction. There are ideas in the book, and there are ideas in the ideas, and there are ideas throughout the chapter that you might say, wow, I'm going to think about that when I teach, and especially when I use children's literature in my instruction. And then again, you're going to post those in your Read Aloud Wiki, which will be added to, you'll see here below this on this page. So it's 5 activities to do over the next 2 weeks. Don't forget to finish working on any of your assignments that you have not turned in. These are a great time to do that over the next 2 weeks, but please don't procrastinate and wait till the last week to try to get through all of these. You won't be able to do your discussion with your group anyways, but if you wait to do your independent activities, you may find out there's more work than you thought there would be. So this is a 2-week module. I'll remind you during the next week that you're still working on this module. And if you have questions, as always, please ask. Otherwise, I'll see you online.